Shalom. I want to start off this video by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, Bahashim Rakakodash. I want to give double honors to my apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and grace and peace to you elect around the four winds, believing and pushing this truth in all sincerity. May the blessing of election be upon your houses. This is your fellow servant, Rakayer from the GMS Orlando camp, and coming at you with an in-transit lesson. All right, I just wanted to speak a few words regarding the events that have been unfolding surrounding these guys, all right, whom I'm not going to name. All right, if you know, you know, and if you don't know, you need to know. All right, because there's a lot going on in the spirit that pertains to your salvation. All right, because you have Israelite leaders out here, so-called leaders, who are pushing faithless doctrines. All right, you have Israelite leaders out here who are pushing thought processes and doctrines that will lead you to your destruction if you're not privy to. All right, right now is the high time to be sober spiritually in this truth of ours. All right, and pay attention to what's going on. All right, pay attention to the separation that Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is making in the spirit. All right, pray for that spirit of discernment, man, because there's a lot going on regarding your salvation, regarding the doctrines that's being pushed. All right, you want to make sure that you continue in sound doctrine, all right, which is coming from the elders, apostles of Great Millstone on down, all right, and the brothers of like mind. You see what I'm saying? All right, you have men, all right, so-called leaders out here who are losing the oil. They're losing the oil. All right, the deeper they get, the more simpler they look. All right, here it is. You know, the deeper they get in doctrine, it's evident that they're losing the basics. All right, the more they build upon their house, the more their foundation withers. All right, here it is. They seem so deep in the scriptures that basic building blocks of this truth of ours are now foreign concepts, like faith, like respecting your elders. Basic building blocks to this truth of ours. All right, respecting the government that the Lord is setting up in the earth. Basic building blocks coming under order. All right. Receiving rebuke, receiving correction. Basic building blocks of this truth of ours are now becoming foreign concepts and becoming grievous unto these men. All right, you want to watch out for that, man. All right, if you can't see the separation that the Lord is making, then you need to pray for the spirit of discernment. All right, because it should be evident to you who the Lord is dealing with and who he's not. All right, you should be able to see right through these men. All right, truly. All right, truly, you should be able to see right through a lot of these men and a lot of these doctrines that they push. All right, the scriptures say to study to show thyself approved. All right, if you've been studying, then you'll know that a lot of these doctrines are not biblical. A lot of these doctrines do not line up with the scriptures, man. Especially these faithless doctrines. All right, especially these doctrines that are telling you that we don't have the 100% truth pertaining to our salvation. All right, you got to pay attention to that, man. All right, this is only going to get thicker, man. You know, I wanted to make this message through the spirit. You know, Lord willing to alert. You know, put you on your watchtower, man. All right, because these things are going to get thicker upon the earth. The deceit, the lies, the trickery. All right, the false doctrines, the false philosophies. These things are going to increase in the earth. All right, as we etch closer and closer to the Lord's return, or at the end of this empire, wickedness is going to increase. It's going to reach its peak. All right, we haven't reached the peak of wickedness yet. All right, and that's going to come on all levels. And it's going to come from all levels. It's even going to come from your so-called Israelite leaders. You better watch out for these doctrines, man. All right, you better keep a watchful eye on these men that you call leaders, because they're losing the oil. All right, they're losing oil. The more the Lord is pouring into their vessel, the more they're losing, man. It's like pouring water into a cup full with holes on the bottom. All right, you may fill it up extra fast, but it don't matter how fast you fill up the cup, you're still going to lose all the water. And these men are heaping under themselves new doctrines. And this week is this, next week is that. The other week is a new gimmick. All right, the other week is a new debate, new show. But as these things are being, as they get deeper, so to speak, the more simpler they starting to look, man. The more easier it is to point out who the Lord is dealing with and who he's not. And at the end of the day, when it all comes down to it, we'll see. We'll see who was right. But as for us, all right, from the house of great millstone, starting from the elder apostle to Harlem down, we know what we worship. All right? We know what we worship. We believe the Lord sent down his 100% truth regarding salvation for his elect. All right? We know that we're justified by faith. All right? Because we've read it in the scriptures. And we believe it through faith. All right? But at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, we will see. All right? We will see whether or not it was about precept recollection or precept application. All right? We're going to see whether or not it was about these great debates or whether it's about applying these things to your life, being brotherly, truly being brotherly. All right? We're going to see. We're going to see. All right? But right now, man, it's high time to be sober in the spirit. There's a lot going on. All right? That if you're not paying attention, it will catch you off guard. All right? Don't get caught up in these wayward doctrines. Stay on the path. Continue in what was taught, man. All right? Continue in what was taught. Don't steer off to the right. It's nothing to look at over there. All right. It's nothing to look at. Stay the course. All right. Don't catch that itching ear demon. Because they're going to say a lot of shit that sound good, man. These men going to come out with doctrines that sound good. But what sounds good ain't always good for you. All right. What tastes good ain't always good for you. You should know that in the world. These sweets, man. All right. Just because it tastes good don't mean it's good for your body. Likewise, these doctrines, just because it sounds good don't mean it's good for your spirit. All right. Continue on what was taught. All right. With that being said, we're going to get into your scriptures. Lord willing, it's edifying unto the elect. This is 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8. It says, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. All right. And the devil doesn't just manifest himself within Esau. All right, in these other nations, the devil manifests himself within Israelites as well. All right, you have a lot of devils within the house of Israel. All right, preaching wayward and false doctrines, man. Preaching faithless doctrines. All right, coming against what was taught, coming against the doctrine that has been established. All right, so be sober and watch out for these things. Be vigilant, because if you're not sober and vigilant, these things will catch you off guard. These things will sweep you up, man. This ain't no game. This ain't a joke. If you don't stay on point in the spirit, man, you will get swept up, man. You will get sifted when the Lord turns on that sifting machine, man. You got to constantly be on point, constantly be on that watchtower, man. All right. It says, again, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. All right. Let's get this in Matthew chapter 24 and verse 24. And this is why you should be sober and vigilant. For there shall arise false Hamashiach, false anointings, and false prophets, and shall shew great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. All right, and deceit is getting ready to get so thick upon the earth, both from the heathen and the house of Israel. All right, that if it were possible, it may deceive the very elect. If you're not sober, if you're not vigilant, if you don't continue on what was taught. All right, if you don't continue in faith. These things will sweep you up, man. All right, you have a lot of men, although you may not hear about it, although you may not see it, you have a lot of men who've been taking this word for entertainment, taking this thing of ours for a joke, who are now hearing these doctrines that these men are preaching, and listening to these debates and falling into that trap. Because this word was just entertainment to them from the beginning. So now these gimmicks and these smooth words and these great debates are now it's appealing to their spirit. And now I know which way the Lord is leading me now, and they falling right into the snare. When you should see clear as crystal that these men are phonies, man. You should be able to discern that. There's a certain level of wisdom you gain from application of the scriptures. And when you really, truly apply these scriptures, you should be able to see, you should be able to point out sound doctrine, man. It don't get no plainer than that. I can't really explain it no plainer than that, man. But this is why you should be sober. Once again, for there shall arise false Mashiach or false anointings and false prophets, and shall shew great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. Behold, I have told you before. All right, and the Lord told us of these things before they happened. All right, the Lord said there will rise false Hamashiach, false prophets, all right, deceivers. All right, the scriptures speak about evil men and seducers waxing worse and worse in the latter days. All right, the Lord told us of these things beforehand. Why? Because we were to give us the jump, man. All right, so that we'll know, and so that we'll continue in what was taught. All right, this is 1 Timothy chapter 4. Matter of fact, we're going to say that for the last. This is Titus chapter 1 and verse 9. All right, it reads, holding fast the faithful word as he hath been taught, that he may be able by sound doctrine both to exhort and to convince the gainsayers. For there are many unruly and vain talkers and deceivers, especially they of the circumcision, whose mouths must be stopped, who subvert whole houses, teaching things which they are not, for filthy lucre's sake. Of one of themselves, even a prophet of their own, said that certain Christians are always liars, evil beasts, slow bellies. All right, but the point being, for there are many unruly and vain talkers and deceivers, especially they of the circumcision. All right, especially those who know they're Israelites. Hey, the elder Yashawamba says it beautifully. All right, when you come into this knowledge, man, when you come into the knowledge that you're an Israelite and you begin to, practice these works and fellowship with other brothers and meet other people who know they're Israelites, you see the weirdest people ever. The most bugged out people you'll ever know are people who know they're Israelites. The most disrespectful people you'll know are people who know they're Israelites. Especially those of the circumcision whose mouths must be stopped, man. And pretty soon the Lord is going to shut these men's mouth. He ain't going to allow the disrespect to continue. And we know this. This is why we're so calm and poised, because we know what the Lord is getting ready to do. He's getting ready to shut the mouths of all these scoffers, all these demons, all these naysayers, all these disrespectful niggas. They're getting ready to get their mouths shut. And it's about that time, man. And they followers. To hell with their followers too, man. But let's grab this last one and then we'll close it out. This is 1 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 14. Neglect not the gift that is in thee, which was given thee by prophecy, with the laying on of the hands of the presbytery. Meditate upon these things. Give thyself wholly to them, that thy profiting may appear to all. Take heed unto thyself and unto the doctrine. All right, taking heed unto yourself means what? Constantly examining yourself, whether or not you be in the faith. Self-examination is crucial in this truth of ours, man. And as you can see, a lot of these men have not been self-examining themselves, man. They've been lifting up themselves with pride, with deceit, with guile. It says, take heed unto thyself and unto the doctrine. Continue in them, for in doing so, this thou shalt both save thyself and them that hear thee. All right, so continue in the doctrine. All right, don't get caught up in this Space Nine, all this gimmicks and all this BS, man. Don't get caught up in it, man. Because it's there for a snare unto those people who have been taking this word for a joke and for entertainment and lightly. But for those of us who are serious, all right, Lord willing, we be of the elect. For those of us who are serious about this word, all right, who have been studying to show ourselves approved, who have been given diligence, all right, to make our calling and election sure. All right, these things are just something that we read about. All right, we know what's going to happen. These are things that we knew what would have to happen in the latter days, and now we're witnessing it front and center. All right, beware. All right, stay sober. All right, because there's a lot going on in the spirit that pertains to your salvation. All right, continue in sound doctrine. Don't get caught up. Shalom. Stay up.